So I've got my cat here, so I figured that today would be a good day to talk about Trailer Park Boys and my love for the show. What's up, Bubbles? My cat's name's Bubbles because of the show. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about Trailer Park Boys. It is a show that I absolutely love. I started watching it, and once I started watching it, I've watched the show probably at least the first 7 seasons. I'd say probably 100 times. Like, I'm not kidding. I used to work out, and when I would work out, I'd ride a exercise bike, and I'd ride for like 40 minutes or an hour. So that's like 2 to 3 episodes. So I'd chain watch it while I was riding the bike. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about how great the show is, because I really feel like people don't grasp the greatness of the show. And some of it's just my age and my personal feelings. But one of the things that really gets me every time like I start the show is the nostalgic feeling I get watching it. Like the opening scene of the trailer park. I mean, when I was a kid, there were trailer parks around where I used to live, so I would ride my bike around them, and I had friends that lived in them and stuff. And there was just something about that time that was just so innocent. I mean, everybody when you're young, you know, that's how you feel about your childhood. But I always felt like there's just the way that they use the filter and the music, just it brings back a sense of nostalgia that I get every time I watch it. And I'm sure, like, you know, it's one of those things where other people in other times will see something and they'll get that feeling. I've asked my son, but he said he doesn't really get it unless it's something we watch together, which I think is really interesting. But that's the one thing that I literally can turn it on and it just takes me back to a place, because I'm not, they're a little bit older than me, but the age that they were was comparable. So I remember some of the life experiences and like some of the furniture, and especially in like the first season, like everybody I knew back in the day had one of those blue velour couches, like, or you know, in the big stereo system, like that was like a thing. And I always look at that and I just kind of giggle how that's sort of how it was. But that's one of the things that I really like about that show. It just takes me back to a place. And another thing I really appreciate about it is the mockumentary style. Like, I love that style. Like, I love Spinal Tap. You know, The Office is up there with one of my favorite shows. But it's just a great medium to kind of express things creatively. And Mike Clattenburg, I mean, he's like a genius in my opinion. The way that he has some of his camera shots, they're just amazing. Like, I'm planning on doing a series where I break down each episode and what I like about the episode, things that it means to me, and so on and so forth, because I just love the show so much. It drives my wife crazy how much I love the show. She likes it, and we'll get a little bit to that too, like as we talk about the show, but then I like the use of profanity. Like, I think that's hilarious. Like, they just curse repeatedly. And I mean, everybody knows somebody who has a mouth like a sailor, right? Or several people, or maybe you're that person, right? And so to listen to them just talk very naturally, how, you know, some people just do, it just kind of flows. And then I really like the malprisms. Like, the malprisms are fucking hilarious. It's like the stupid things that Ricky says, or butchers, the words that they butcher. It is just so funny the way that they kind of work it in. And if you're not paying attention, like supply and command, like you're like, if you're not paying attention, you're like, oh, maybe that's what it is. No, it's supply and demand, right? And so it's just hilarious. And then the last thing, like, that really, the reason why the show I think resonates with me so much is how it's influenced like the vernacular in my household. So we'll use quotes from the show regularly. Like, it's all the time. Like, my wife will say something, she's like, what do you think? I'm like, whatever you want, Luce. And that's from Cheeseburger Picnic. But like, just random things like that. Or if you're like, how long do you think that's gonna be? No more than 2 weeks. Well, in the first episode, when Julian's like, hey, how long? He goes, I want you out in 2 days. And Ricky's like, oh, no more than 2 weeks, Julian. So we use all these stupid little Trailer Park Boy references all the time. And then another thing, like, while I'm thinking about it, is my son never got the show. So when he was growing up, like I would watch it, and he was like, "Man, that show's kind of stupid." But then he got to college and had a little free time, and one summer he stayed up there. He was playing football, and he stayed up there. And when he'd get off of practice or whatever, he'd just fire up Trailer Park Boys. And he texted me one day out of the blue, and he was like, "Dad, I finally understand." He's like, "That show is amazing." He goes, I feel bad that I disregarded it for so long." I go, "Yeah, it really is a great show. I mean, you can't, the first 7 seasons are just great. And obviously not every episode's a banger, but there's just something about that show. Like when I watch it, I know when my son wants to spend time with me and he's home for like the holidays or whatever, he'll turn on Trailer Park Boys, and it's like, it's like a flight of shit. I'm like, oh, I gotta go watch Trailer Park Boys with my son. But I love the show. If you've never watched the show and you're like, it kind of looks stupid, what I would recommend is I would start and watch the first 3 episodes of the first season back to back, because it kind of builds, like the first episodes, they're all good episodes, but the first 3 sort of build the picture of what the show's about. And by the 3rd episode, if you've watched all 3, you'll get the show, and either you'll understand it and you'll like it, or you won't. And it's not for everybody, but I always tell people to watch that show. I think that show is amazing. And if you've never watched it, give it a chance. It'll change your life. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about Trailer Park Boys. I've been meaning to do it. It's like I said, I love the show. Like, I love it. I've seen the guys in live. I've got some merchandise from them, from John Dunsworth, who plays Mr. Leahy. Passed away, unfortunately. I've just got a couple things. I'll share them over the course of the videos, because like I said, there's just something about that show. It just takes me to a place like that. I'm really happy. Even if I'm on a bad day, you turn the Trailer Park Boys on, hear the little intro theme, and you're like, all right, man, day's not so bad today. So, like I said, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And I'll see you in the next Trailer Park Boy video.